3 o'clock. Jason, you want to start off?
And is that it? We're live.
Yay.
Hey guys, happy Ardbeg Day, everyone. If you're just tuning in, as we are here for our third installment of Kits and Giggles. We are not in the Rhino this time due to many technical difficulties from last time, but we have borrowed a studio from our friends down at LMG Security. Got their little coffee cup right here. I'd like to give them a shout out.
Thank you very much, Sherry.
Very cool. So we're professional this week. If you guys are getting online now, go ahead and drop us a line. We want to make sure that people are tuned in before we get going here, all strapped in. Remember last time it took a while for the feed to start.
Mm-hmm.
So if you came in to the Rhino to get your kit, you should have one of these nice little stemmed glasses here, Ardbeg glasses. The ones that have the nice lid on top of them. People have been asking me why the lid. Well, when you visit distilleries and you're going in for a formal tasting, chances are that they've already poured the whiskeys out and hours beforehand, so that when you come in, you can go ahead and sit down. What the lid does is it keeps the whiskey from evaporating out completely. So if you're wondering what that's for, that is what this is for. This is a much nicer lid that comes to it. Oftentimes when I've been to some of the distilleries, what they'll have is a little slightly concave disc that goes over the top that does the same purpose. So should we start with the first one?
Well, okay, we're looking. Oh, David is with us.
David.
All right, he says, "I'm here. How do I join?" I believe you've just joined, sir. Thank you so much.
Yes, you did.
So, for those of you not in the know, this is International Ardbeg Day. It's May 30th this year. I'm wearing a nice shirt from 2018. I like to collect these every year. It's a big deal. People come into the bar, they wear their shirts from different years. It's like kind of a club. So we're gonna start tasting these big peaty scotches that we got for you today. We have 8 that were included in the kit, and we kind of started from the lowest alcohol content to the highest, since they're all going to be really peaty and big. So I'm going to go ahead and take the lid off of mine now and let the aroma flow.
So Ardbeg is from the island of Isla. When you come off the ferry at Port Ellen on the island of Isla, you see Lafroig is right there. And what it used to be the Port Ellen distillery, which is now a malting facility, but I believe it's being turned back into a distillery again. And there's Lafroig. You go a little bit down the road from Lafroig, and you come to Lagavulin, and you go a little bit past that, and you come to Ardbeg. And this is one of my favorite of all of the Isla malts. I just love this.
So before we get going too much farther, most people know Kevin, and I'm Jason. We have a new guest with us this week. What was your name again?
I'm Caitlin.
I'm just kidding. I know her. She's our Facebook girl. She does all our social media. She does a great job, and we thought that since she's got such a great palate that we should just throw her in the mix here and see what she thinks. And
thanks for being here, Caitlin. So we're going to get started on this. I believe we might as well with the Ardbeg On Oa. And On Oa, I believe, was an Ardbeg Day special release several years ago, but now they brought it on as part of their permanent offering. So this one is at 46.6%. And what would that be then in proof?
103.2. Are my simple math skills? No, not 93.2.
93.2. All right. So
let's go ahead and dive in here with nose. See what we got. Okay, the feed's going. Is it if I scroll?
Yeah.
Can I see the rest of the feed
Yep.
here? I don't want to mess anything up. We got Mike York from Seattle joining us.
Yeah, great, Mike. Thanks for joining us.
All right. Good to see that you made it.
I know that he's been watching the Isla Whiskey Festival from the island of Isla. He's been watching what's been going on there all week long. So thank you for joining us.
David says, Anoa wasn't for Ardbeg Day, but it is now permanent part of the range. Okay.
Oh, okay.
So, okay, let's give it a little nosing here and see what we come up with. Oh, Kevin, I smell peat.
Really? Yeah, that's it. So when we started uh, writing down everything that we pre-tasted everything, and when we first did, we put down peat, and then next to peat in parentheses, I said, "Duh." And peat's going to permeate everything here.
One thing I enjoyed at the tasting the other day is this is the first time we haven't done bourbon in a while, and I'm so glad to not be smelling nougat and you know all the typical
Vanilla.
things and vanilla that we associate with bourbon, and getting into some more interesting flavor profiles with this big peaty scotch. So okay, yeah, I mean besides the obvious, the smoke, you know, it smells like a tire shop. We came up with the other day. I thought that was pretty poignant. Was it smells in the nose to me? I get like a toasted sourdough, like when it just comes out of the toaster. I thought that was really
And
really
some lemon.
Yeah.
There's a medicinal aspect to it, but that should be, especially from that area of Isla and most of Isla, there should be a little medicinal quality to it.
Steve agrees. He says, yeah, he smells peat for sure too. All right, we're all on the same page here. Go ahead and take a little sip. See how it changes.
And remember, with all the samples that you have in your kit, you don't have to finish all of them. You can come back later and see how one tastes against another. You know, just have a little bit of it for right now and then save it for later. And remember that the cups that are in there are taped to the bottom. So, you know, just you probably have already discovered that, but just thought I'd let you know.
So Caitlin's been tasting with us for a couple rounds here, and I remember the other day that she just didn't you say sourdough is what you or
Sourdough
or
and,
horseradish? Big time?
horseradish.
Yeah, big
Horseradish.
Cocktail sauce
On the palate.
on palate.
Little cocktail sauce.
Teriyaki, charred pineapple, almost that barbecue kind of Asian barbecue thing going, if that's a thing.
That's buttered popcorn. Some treacle. What is treacle? Treacle is a bitter toffee. Oftentimes it'd be, gosh, what is that? It tastes like something I know, but without the sweetness there, it's sometimes hard to nail down.
What I always think, it always surprises me every time I taste Ardbeg or like you think this is so packed with flavor and smells, and you think it'd be really dark, but this is a really light bodied looking whiskey, which you know it's kind of counterintuitive, but look how light that is.
That's very true. Just because a Scotch is dark doesn't mean it's necessarily stronger. Some of the lightest whiskeys I've had, especially from Isla, are just massive monster Scotches.
All right, let's go into the finish real quick. We're almost 10 minutes in here, so we're gonna try to keep going and get this in about an hour. You know, I mean, again, you don't have to drink it all in the hour. I will come to your house and drink whatever is left over if you need me to, unless you're overseas. So on the finish,
Sure,
what do we
picks
get?
up his socks though.
Yeah. Yeah, the other day I remember saying that I tasted kind of a syrup from a can of fruit cocktail.
Like of a fruit cocktail, but you know, that overcooked popcorn.
But again, it's under there, you know, there's all that peat. But there are some really interesting nuances and flavors under all that peat. Once your body kind of gets, you know, used to the peat, then you can start.
And one of the things you can do, I put in my water a little bit too quickly. But what you can do is before you put the water in, smell the glass again. The glass, with the alcohol out of it, a lot of the aromas are still inside the glass. And you may be able, if you didn't pick up some of the stuff that we talked about at the beginning, you may be able to pick it up now. And then definitely you want to put some water inside your glass, swirl it around, and drink it down. That way you clean both your glass and your palate. We want to use bottled water, or, which would probably be best if you could, would be water from the source that the distillery uses, but that's 7 hours away from where we are by plane, actually by time zone. We use bottled water because a lot of the municipal water has chlorine in it, and can change the taste and the flavor.
We've got our tech guy, Mark, over here, right just off camera. We're feeding him a little Ardbeg, too. Just for fluency and production. Matt, I'm sorry.
That's
So
it's
bad
okay.
with names, man.
Yeah, let's get
I'll never
the
look
guy
at
that's
you.
helping us out. Let's get his name right.
I'll go ahead and offend him real fast.
Okay.
All right. This is the grooves, the committee bottling. Kevin, what's the difference between a regular bottling and a committee bottling?
Well, first off, you can see the shirt that you've got on right now was, I believe, from the Grooves, the Pete and Love from 2018.
2018, yeah.
So the difference between the committee bottling and the and regular bottling is that the regular bottling is watered down a little bit. The committee bottling is at cask strength. I know in the past the committee bottling was usually from some of the casks that were being selected for or created for the Grooves or for the Ardbeg Day special release for that year. The committee used to pick several of those that they thought were the best and then bottle that, I believe. Don't hold me to that. But I know that now, for sure, it means that it is at cask strength instead of watered down a little bit.
Oh, the nose is almost entirely different from that first one. Wow.
Oh,
Much different. Wow.
oh yeah, it's bigger, brighter.
Mhm.
Brad Allen. Hey, Brad, how you doing, buddy? Cheers, man.
All right.
Good Brad's here. That's awesome. Yeah, I love this one. What do we get? I get Butterfinger candy bar on this one, really big. Butter, you know,
And butterscotch.
something. Oh, it's like nutty, nut husk kind of thing going on in the nose.
Definitely that peanut, white pepper.
Honeycomb.
What's that?
Some honeycomb.
Honeycomb. Yeah,
we
that
had
kind
writ-
of waxy.
We had written down that the nose was light and mild, but today it's really
It's showing a lot more.
smoked pear. I don't know if that's a thing, but I tasted it or I smell it in this. And
And
then
the peat probably just makes it seem that way.
And then our friend David was tasting with us the other day. He said that he smelled smoked paprika,
Mhm.
which I thought was right on the money.
Yep.
Steve MacArthur. Butter too. Yes, absolutely. Very
Yep.
buttery.
Yep, butterscotch. You know, with that too. That some Chardonnay, a little bit of
Yeah.
a wine in there. Because I think they used some Chardonnay casks. for
They
this.
did. Yes, they did. We had that written down. Let's look at let's not look at the bottle. Yeah, I think they did, and you'll notice, when you smell that wine on the nose, there'll probably be like a kind of a dry finish associated with that.
To me, I always love the committee bottlings a lot more. But then I'm a little bit older, and my palate isn't quite as sharp as it used to be. So I like something that's a little bit bigger, a little bit with more of an edge, a little more beveled.
All right, Brad. Brad's typing back. Elizabeth is here too, so we pretty much got
Oh,
half of
Elizabeth.
the UM faculty.
Good.
faculty with us. That's a good thing. Big hitters. All right. On the taste, fresh jalapeno.
Jalapeno.
Do we get that? Just not the canned variety, but fresh. Oh man, big time.
Mm-hmm.
This is really nice, and I got diced parsley the other day. When you're chopping up parsley, just that initial rush of smell, man, it's there.
There's a kind of a toast, and then there's a clove taste to it that kind of goes into a light cinnamon.
Oh man, that is so good.
Mm-hmm.
I'm so much more impressed by this now than I was 2 years ago. So I guess my taste has matured. How about that finish, guys? What do we got on there?
Well, did you also get a little charred peach with that?
A little bit of charred peach. There's almost an unsweetened chocolate kind of thing going on the finish, kind of the recessiveness of an unsweetened chocolate versus a milk chocolate, where the taste it kind of just absorbs them.
And a Chardonnay also.
Really light.
Yeah.
Mm.
And then this one was 51.6% alcohol, so that's 103.2 proof.
Yeah, there you go.
So yeah, we jumped up 5%, and then they're going to start building a little slower after that. All right. Very good. This is one of my favorites in the day.
This is
And
lovely.
that's why I chose the shirt.
And a shout out to all the folks in Butte. They came in yesterday to get your kits. Thank you very much. I gave you one of the little Shorty figurines. I forgot to bring mine. It's Shorty was the mascot, Jack Russell Terrier at Ardbeg for years, and this one kind of shows like half of his body is like is right flush with the ground, looking like he's digging underneath it. And Shorty is definitely missed and was very well loved and became very much a part of the Ardbeg mystique. All right.
Elizabeth says the grooves is like smoked saddle leather. And
Oh,
that is a
all
good
right.
thing.
So you're getting like some tack in there too. Okay.
Very good, very good.
Yum.
All right, let's move on to the drum. This came out, what was this? Was this 2019? Or was it 2017? Was it before the cruise?
The drum was last year.
Yeah.
So 2019. What we were hoping to have this year was this year's Ardbeg Day release, which there are two different ones. There was the regular bottling of what is called the Black, BLAACK, kind of a, like if a sheep was going to be saying the word black, and the committee bottling. But unfortunately, the state wasn't able to get it in time. So we will have it at some point. So if you ever want to try it, come down to the Rhino and we will have that. And for those of you who don't know who we are, we're with the Rhinoceros here in lovely downtown Missoula, Montana, which is approaching 90 degrees today. Just crazy.
Are you guys ready for this?
Yep.
Gonna take a look, see at the bottle here.
Yep.
Right. This is aged in ex-bourbon casks. So when they say ex-bourbon, and a while in ex-rum casks, and that's going to explain the flavor profile a lot here once we get into it.
Well, when I was at Ardbeg in 2005, and I was able to go into one of the warehouses there, and you could see all of the casks that were laid down in this one place where I was, this one cask warehouse, aging warehouse. All of the casks had Jack Daniels stamped on it. Now, Jack Daniels is a Tennessee whiskey, but all Tennessee whiskeys are bourbons. And the Scots and Scotch distilleries often use different used bourbon barrels because to be called bourbon, it could only be used once. You can't reuse it again to make bourbon.
I see Jimmy Cleveland's with us again. Hey, buddy.
Jimmy, hi,
Hey,
Jim.
buddy. I enjoyed your speakeasy the other day. That's a fun new place in Missoula. You guys should check it out. Let's see. Let's read the label here. A flamboyant jamboree of flavors with fragrant pine resin, wood smoke, and sea spray. I think that's an interesting word to describe some of this peaty scotch, that sodium element from the sea. Alongside ripe banana and pineapple, lavender, which we tried to get into the other day, whether or not we actually smell the taste
I don't
of
think
lavender.
we got in there.
I just don't think I know
don't
it.
think that we got that.
Licorice and vanilla swaying to rich dark chocolate before parading into a long smoky finish.
Look at how light that is. You know, if I can put that, up here for you to see, right next to that, it is incredibly light. So
this clocks in an even 52%. All right.
and this is a committee bottling also.
I remember this being a fun one to smell. Kaylin, what did you get out of this
Captain
nose?
Morgan,
The Captain
like a
Morgan.
spiced rum on the nose.
But she was like, "It's Captain Morgan." It was great. And well, not like that. Sorry. Cantaloupe I got there. I got some cantaloupe in there.
And the banana runts made a comeback.
Oh, okay. You're welcome for the plug, Jimmy.
Thanks for the plug.
Brad is wondering where this speakeasy is. Well, it's in an alley in Missoula. You got to
You
knock
have to
3
find
times.
it.
I'll let you guys discuss maybe if Jimmy wants to tell you where it is.
But this one, you know, it's got it does have some nougat in it.
Mm-hmm. Sweet.
What is nougat? Nougat is like a creamy, nutty filling in a candy bar,
Taffy.
like or inside like a milk dud.
I brought up the other day that I smelled the distinctive smell of banana runts. You guys all know the candies. You picked out all the other ones, and then you were left with a handful of the banana runts. They're still delicious. Seaweed we got in this the other day. Again, that's that maritime element.
But this one, it was rain. Somebody said that they got rain out of it and sunscreen.
Sunscreen. It's that rum.
Oh, wow, yeah.
Really comes through. Licorice.
Yeah, that nougat is just hitting me over the head right now.
Mm-hmm.
And did you get some green apple with that?
Yeah, I was struggling. I was struggling with if it was a red but I think it's more like a Granny Smith, a little tart.
Mm.
Oh, there's a lot going on in this.
Oh, it's so good.
Dive into that taste. The tropical.
Oh yeah, Jimmy's going to town. Good stuff.
Mm.
Oh, there's so much in that nose. It's just packed with different flavors.
There is. There's a lot of fruit in this one. Mm. So kind of a charred pineapple.
Mm-hmm.
Someone had said iced tea with lemon. What else were you able to get in that for the palate?
God, iced tea with lemon. That
Yeah.
just pops right now. I mean, it's hard to think of a big peaty scotch like this being so tropical, you know, but it really is. I mean, there's
So
a
good.
lot going on once you dig under that peat and that smoke.
Mm. I'd gotten a little cherry jubilee. When I was tasting that, and I came up with that. A lot of the other tasters that were with us were like, "What the hell is that?" So I guess you say with that is like a cherry dessert, something with a little rum in it that you light on fire. You use a 151, so you get the rum flavor in there, but there's a little burnt char in there with the sweetness of the cherry. But there's a little clover honey,
Licorice.
rum cake.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it really kind of just takes over your whole mouth.
It does.
It's just so pleasant that cherry's jubilee and into this long, big, dry finish.
And remember, these are our notes that we took with this. You could get something completely different. And if you do, great. Let us know what it is that you get. And if you don't get any of the ones that we have here either, you're like, where the hell are these guys coming up with this? That's all right too. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, we'd like to hear what you guys think
let us
too. So which of these are available in Missoula? Which of the Ardbegs are generally available in Missoula?
Well, the Anoa is available. The Ugadal, the Corey Brecken. You may be able to find some of the Supernova. And in the next few weeks, both editions of the Black will be out. So
I know.
those are ones that you should be able to get. There's a 10-year-old also, which is quite nice. And there's some expensive ones. I'm not sure you want to get into those, but and then there is a new one that will be coming out pretty soon. It's a 5-year-old that is called the Wee Beastie. And I'm looking forward to that one. I have a feeling that's going to be a real fun whiskey also.
All right, here we go. 10-year. Is the 21 years something that you can find? I mean, I'm sure it is. It is
Maybe.
very expensive.
Maybe. It could be that Jackie might have one at Crisco Liquor. There might be one at Montana Liquor and Wine up at Kalispell, possibly Belgrade Liquor. Maybe some places. If not, you might be able to find it online. But I'm going to figure say the 21 year now is probably going at around $350 to $400.
It is
David, you
fine
might know
whiskey.
better what closer to the price might be for that. And there's another one called 20 something. They're excellent whiskeys.
Yeah, the
Just
21
loaded.
was phenomenal. I remember getting a little taste of that. Something else.
And it's so funny because not all the time are older whiskeys better. Sometimes they may just, start going over a little bit. They're not as bright as they used to be. A little bit too much of the wood character comes out. But those two that I just mentioned, the 21 and the 20-something, were wonderful.
Yes,
Just
they were
awe-inspiring. All right,
All right, we're clocking in at 25 minutes. Let's get to the halfway point here.
to Ardbeg.
Ardbeg.
So when you look at that, it isn't a misspelling. That is the Ardbeg. Right up to the,
I'm trying. Okay.
what's the octane on that?
Oh, this one, 52.1%. So we're going up a 0.1%.
Ooh, yeah, let me put a little water in there first.
This one's a little. The body on this is a
Yeah, it's
little.
darker.
What you might do, if you haven't put any water in yet, smell this one. This one, you might be able to pick up. Well, not really. Maybe a little bit more tropical was in there. Oh, thank you.
I mean, yeah, that color of this just jumped out at me the other day. It's a deeper
This
color,
is
you know.
nice, little darker yellow there to it. Okay, you got that there, Matt?
Got it. All right, the Ardbeg.
This might have been my last bottle of Ardbeg. I might have one more for maybe for Ardbeg Day next year.
What is it? Can you read that, Caitlin? What is it? Manzanilla sherry cask staged in
Manzanilla,
Yep.
sherry cask. Manzanilla, David, you know better than I do on this one. Is a drier, lighter style sherry. The UK used to buy a ton of
Yeah, I like this
sherry,
one.
and in the 1960s, they would send the barrels from Spain filled with sherry. And so they would bottle it. Often grocery stores and independent bottlers would bottle it under their name. But they would say what type it was, whether it was Manzanilla, Oloroso, Amontillado, Fino, Pedro Jimenez.
Wow.
But so there were all these empty barrels that were sitting there, and the Scots, kind of went, what can we do with those? And especially in the 1960s, they really started using the sherry casks, and just some of the more wonderful whiskeys that came out at that time.
This one I remember having a good time with.
Yeah, I started this one.
This, I just kept coming up with. I mean, right off the bat, for me, the way you smell, it's custard. It's fluffy, it's big. French toast, vanilla extracts in there. And then
The
There's-
Monte Cristo.
the Monte Cristo sandwich. That's what we came up with, which was like the ultimate description of the nose of this is a Monte Cristo sandwich. Is pretty much,
Describe what that is.
well, it's pretty much, isn't it, like a French toast with a sandwich with ham in the middle of it, deep
And
fried.
like Swiss cheese.
Cheese, yeah, the cheese is an element. It's been
Yeah.
a couple years since I've had one. I mean, it's a big, decadent, delicious, over the top thing. But I mean, because in this I'm getting butterscotch, I'm getting
Butterscotch.
cookie, wafer,
Mint
vanilla wafer,
chocolate,
graham cracker. It's so fluffy and big.
And
No, it's just
coffee
horrible.
bean,
Mm.
little maple syrup.
Hmm.
I think that coffee bean. for
It
sure.
just
Ooh, I smell
screams
maple
like
syrup.
Sunday afternoon brunch,
Yeah.
to
Ah,
me.
right, yeah.
Breakfast
It's a
scotch.
breakfast scotch. No, that doesn't mean it's necessarily for breakfast. Then again, you can't drink all day unless you start in the morning.
Mhm.
But
Yeah.
it tastes like breakfast is what it means by a breakfast scotch.
Oh man.
Let's do it.
Yeah, let's get into the taste here. What is that? What do we get?
Oh my gosh.
Steve MacArthur, my favorite so far.
Same.
I might have to agree with you here. This one is just really dialed in, man. It's so
That's
good.
lovely.
We got a dry sherry. We got gorgonzola on the kind of in the front, and then there's this dryness, from the sherry cask. Walnut.
Peppered almonds, like those smokehouse almonds that
Yeah.
you get in the little jars.
Mm.
Oh, that's good.
A little honey, a little sugar.
I liked how we said the other day, like a jam or preserves on saltine,
Mm-hmm.
so that the the cracker, the salt, and then the sweet, just very nice, very nice.
Mm.
What are we getting on the finish? It is that sherry finish is there,
That cherry finish is there, kind of a nut husk,
which
a
is
walnut.
kind of cool with the nose being so fluffy and big and kind of really makes you dive into it. And then the finish is nice and polite and
Polite.
kind of dry. It kind of is.
So if you really like this one, don't drink the whole thing. Save some of it, put it back in the cup, come back to it later.
Oh, it's good.
What do you think?
Yeah, that's a good one.
Mm.
Yeah, we had fun with this one.
Yeah.
I think we might have went back for
We
Matt's-
second.
did.
Maybe
Matt's
for
giving
third.
his okay for this also.
Delicious.
Oh man.
I have a lot of friends around the country that are into single malt scotch, and they talk about Ardbegs and a special Ardbeg Day release. One of the ones that they really miss is the Ardbeg.
It's so good.
All right. Boy, this just keeps getting better and better. We get to drink the Supernova next.
So the Supernova came out several years ago, and the Supernova is just wonderful. The first editions that came out were just incredible, and the regular bottlings and the I don't know if there was a committee bottling or not for those. This one is a committee bottling, and it's the I think
People like this one.
the latest one, 2019 edition. Definitely had a committee bottling, and I think that's all that we got in Montana. But we're suffering through it.
We're heroes.
You jokester.
So we're about at the half an hour mark here. I wanted to talk about when we were setting this lineup, Kevin and I were talking beforehand, and how I find it interesting that Ardbeg does not rely on age statements a lot like other big scotches, and I think this is an interesting kind of innovative thing, way of presenting their product.
So oftentimes, when I first started getting into scotches, there's always an age state. Usually there was always an age statement on it: 10-year, 12-year, 16-year, 14-year, 20-year, 25-year, and up from there. After in the 1980s, there was a crash in Scotland. The demand for Scotch went way down, and a lot of distilleries closed. Some opened back up, but some are gone for good. And then when it really started taking off in the 1990s, and a lot of that was the introduction of the classic malts that came out, and that was Lagavulin and Winnie, Oban, Talisker, Glenkinchie, all were part of these classic malts. And all of a sudden, Scotch started taking off again. The American palate had changed. The micro brews had come out in the late 80s into the 90s. Then cigars came on, wine came on. When cigars came on, really good whiskey started coming on again, and people were in the United States were really looking at Scotch again. So in the 1990s and the early 2000s, they started bottling a lot of casks that had been put aside for a very long time, and they went pretty quickly the demand because the whiskey was so incredibly phenomenal. So everything that you were seeing had an age statement on it. but the distilleries were still creating new scotches. Bill Lumpson, Dr. Bill Lumpson, who is the master distiller and blender at Ardbeg and also at Glenmorangie, started using younger whiskeys. So the thing is that if you see something that's 10 years old, you figure that's just about right when it comes to having a scotch that's ready. If it's underneath or if it's under that amount, the perception is that it's not ready yet, and that's not necessarily true. And if you're blending different whiskeys together, and you want to put an age statement on your whiskey, it has to be the youngest cask that you're using. So you could have a whiskey that has an 18-year-old in it, a 14-year-old, and a 5-year-old. And if you do, then you have to call it a 5-year. So what a lot of distilleries did is they opted to put in a name instead of an age statement. They're putting out these great whiskeys, but the perception, at least in the United States, I know often if it's under 10 years, it's just not ready and not worth my while. And the reality is, it is. And there are some really, really good whiskeys out there to try.
Case in point, the Supernova clocking in at 53.8% alcohol. I read the back label, but I don't think that there's what they're saying. In terms of the realms of sweet, treacle, toffee, and aniseed, which I don't know, eucalyptus. I also don't know that. I'm not that sophisticated. So I'm gonna think. I smell peat.
You know eucalyptus. Oh. It's like cough drop, right? It's like
I'm setting myself up for the
Vicks Vapor Rub.
Yeah, that's it. All right. Yes. Okay. So what are we doing here with the nose? Okay, we've got
vanilla wafers.
Yes, indeed. And the other thing I really liked was green onion.
Yes.
It is there. It's that
scallion,
sharpness of scallion.
And there's also, a vegetal thing like a watercress or water chestnut.
But the eucalyptus is all over this.
Yes.
You know.
It's fresh.
A little lighter body than the last one.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Get some butterscotch. Somebody else said ivy. I'm not really sure what ivy smells like, but...
Oh, I love this one. Oh, man.
Supernova, this is a committee bottling also.
So good.
Yeah, half of these are committee bottlings. That's pretty cool.
Oh.
Ooh.
Toffee, yeah, that toffee, that butterscotch,
Mm-hmm.
and then that eucalyptus is kind of a nice give and take here.
So the taste on this.
The charred asparagus.
Hmm?
Charred asparagus?
That charred asparagus, gosh.
I think that's all over this, yeah. And
Snap pea, dried cranberry, craisin.
Musky. Yeah.
Love to hear any comments. What do you guys are getting out of this one? Because this one I think is a lot
said with
different.
this grilled corn with butter.
Mm. Oh, I love it.
Oh, this is nice.
Yep.
It's got a way lighter mouthfeel than the last one.
It's lighter than past supernovas that I've had. Some of the other supernovas that I've tried have just been a massive one.
It just dissipates very quickly out of your mouth, and you're just left with this very pleasant peat, almost mixed with that peanut brittle or something. It's really it's an interesting profile.
I like the dried
you
cranberry.
You said sweet garlic on this too. Did you get that little bit of that?
I'm starving.
I'm starving. Yeah, we gotta bring some.
Us too, yeah. I get cranberry and the craisins a lot. Mm-hmm.
Sweet garlic, yeah. Musky. A musky finish. I don't know if I agree with that so much today as I did the other day. To me, I'm just really hung up on how light the mouthfeel is and how it kind of just evaporates and you're left with.
It's light, but it's not boring.
Mm-mm.
No, I didn't mean to imply that it was.
There's a lot going on with it.
I appreciate this after the one we had with the Ardbeg, which was so buttery and fluffy, and this one is very much more medicinal in a way. With that eucalyptus.
Oh,
yeah. Eucalyptus, yes. Okay.
No,
I get
not
more
the traditional.
finish.
When you traditionally say medicinal, and that I'm not necessarily.
Usually when I
being
think of Isla single malts and I think medicinal, I think iodine.
Okay, I am getting a hint of boxwood. Well, I'm glad you are because I don't know what that is.
Me either.
Do
I'm
you?
not really sure what it is either.
But we're gonna
Is
go
But
with
we
Steve.
appreciate it.
Is it
Thank you, Steve. I'm
scent,
gonna write that on my
a
notes.
scented something on there? I'm not sure.
Yeah, if you could expound on what boxwood is, I don't know, Steve. You know, we're all learning here.
Yeah. I like you.
Matt, what do you think?
It's really nice. You definitely do get a lot of the kind of kind of herbal and vegetal qualities out of it, though.
Herbal and vegetable
Yeah.
qualities. That's a
Herbal.
great way to put it.
Herbal, definitely kind
That's
of
easy.
more like even say
Instead of the same
some of the,
medicinal,
Yeah.
herbal.
Yes.
European liqueurs kind of thing.
Yeah, I like that. That's a better description than medicinal. Herbal, definitely.
I'm just loving that.
But
Wallace.
just very, very different from the Ardbeg.
I love that bird box.
What's so neat is just how different, all from the same distillery, how different all of these whiskeys are, while still having a ton of peat in them.
Pete. Okay.
All right, we are on to. Is it Ugadal or Ugadal?
Ugadal.
Ugadal.
Well, yeah, it's funny because the first three letters in the word UIG at the far end of the Isle of Skye in Scotland is a little town called Uig. That's how it's pronounced. But I've always heard this pronounced as Ugadal. It could be Ugadal or even Uigadal. I'm not sure.
A lot of vowels in the Ardbeg.
Yeah.
Stable, This one's got a little deeper looking body on it.
And this one you could buy both places in Missoula. You should be able to find this at any liquor store that's got a decent Scott selection. Should have the Ugadal.
Let's do a little perusing on the label here. See what they're going to tell us. Anything interesting? The luscious sweet raisiny tones of old ex-sherry casks. So again, they do a lot of aging in
Does it say
sherry
what kind of
casks.
sherry cask?
It does not.
Okay.
No. Let's see if it says anything on the front. And then I like this. Okay, this is a great description. 3 words: treacle, bacon, bonfires. That's what they're going with. Let's see if we
Treacle?
agree.
Bacon bonfires.
Mhm.
Love it.
Love it. There's a little right in front of Caitlin's face. Boop. Okay, here we go.
Mhm.
Sweet sherry for sure. Steve coming back. Let's get to it.
So when you look at the word Ugadal, it kind of looks, if you were to pronounce it phonetically, it would be Uigiadale, but it's pronounced Ugadal.
Oh, wow. Barbecued zucchini.
Yep.
I'm going to hold with that.
100%.
Yes, absolutely.
Charcoal in there, definitely.
Our friend the other day said that they got
Oh, God.
cured horse meat in the nose. I'm not sure if I'm going to stand by that.
And she tried it, and she said, no, it was really good. And I
Yeah.
said, but not really a friend of Flicka, are you?
So, what else are we getting there? Our old friends, craisins. I love it when I smell craisins in something.
But there's like a baked rye bread, buttermilk biscuit kind of in there.
Biscuit for sure.
Brad Allen says they ripped off. He says Bacon Bonfire is the name of his punk band. So we're gonna have this might be a licensing dispute.
Uh-oh.
We'll try to keep it up on the up and up here.
Well, we won't make a T-shirt out of it. I promise.
This is not a Bacon Bonfire T-shirt. That's Fugazi right now. Yeah, baked rye bread. When you smell rye in something, it's very distinct.
Oh, my Lord.
Buttermilk biscuit. Yeah.
Right.
Uh-huh.
That smoked, uncooked bacon
Very smoky.
there. Somebody also had gotten rose out of
That
this.
wasn't me,
A little bit. I
'cause
know I didn't really either.
For me,
That
it's
was me.
This would be a very sooty rose, I would think.
I got rose water.
Rose water, okay.
But this gets into the barnyard stable
Oh,
of smells for
definitely.
me.
I like this one
Great
too.
nose.
Yeah.
Almost got like a cured tobacco, almost like a
Yeah.
cigar.
Yep.
Of it.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
definitely.
This is definitely, evenings with a barbecue kind of scotch here. Start out with the
Barnyard barbecue.
Yeah, barnyard barbecue
Bonfire.
and rose water.
Yeah. Oh, what?
Something to clean your fingers with.
All right, let's get into the
Barbecue.
taste here.
Good. Oh, it's so smoky.
Cinnamon cream
Mm.
is
Mm.
what stands out of my notes.
When I first had this, I had tasted it kind of tarry and tart. I'm not getting the tart at all.
At
right
all.
now.
I think it's
At-
sweet.
At all.
Nope.
But that light smoked uncooked bacon, it kind of seems like that also.
Thank you, Brad.
What do you
Thanks,
think?
Brad.
I don't know you, but thank you.
Well, what?
You said roses growing from the char of a fire pit. It's
Ah,
beautiful.
oh.
Image.
Very poetic.
Steve saying cured tobacco for sure. Absolutely. Yeah.
Mm. Got some roasted nut, grilled scallion on this.
Mhm.
I think we had a chalky taste. I don't know. Really.
It's amazing how
So,
tart it
look at that
was
right now.
last time. Not now.
Mm.
Well, the first one wasn't, but I let it sit. I let it sit in my mouth a little bit longer, and it came out a little bit more.
That sherry cask is present in the finish.
And there's that gritty, almost chalky texture that's in there.
Gritty.
Some licorice on that finish, but and some cinnamon cream.
Yeah, we're ramping up. This one's 104.8 proof, 52.4%.
Oh, yeah.
So
Oh,
we
there
are
we go.
climbing the ladder here, guys.
Getting
I'm
up a
enjoying
little
myself.
higher, little higher octane.
That's why I'm talking more.
I told you about halfway
I
through, you'd be
know.
a star.
Well, it's funny how that happens. Whenever we do tastings, there's always some folks that are very quiet, and usually by about the fourth one, everybody's engaged in talking.
Well, we're
It's
doing
great.
good here. We're 3/4 of the way through, and we're right at 47 minutes. So I hope we're cruising along pretty well. We're right in the time frame here. I hope everybody's having a decent time and celebrating Ardbeg Day in whatever way you choose.
Oh.
I like this one a lot.
How long have they been doing Ardbeg Day now, Kevin, officially?
Ardbeg Day. Gosh, David, you
Since,
probably know
since
better than I do
2014.
on that. About 10, 12 years now on Ardbeg Day. I think the first Ardbeg Day that came out was actually the release was called Day. So I have a bottle of that I bought when I was in Scotland. Unfortunately, we can't taste that one because I didn't buy it from a licensed agent within the state of Montana. But it's something that maybe for a tasting that I do for a nonprofit for a live auction item, I might bring one of those out to use.
Yeah. Smell your glass after you've rinsed out again. There's a big buildup of a lot of different tastes. And
It does smell
You
like a
could
bonfire.
you could spend 5 minutes just
Tobacco.
nosing
The
it.
tobacco is like heavy.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah, it does.
That's, okay, I want that in a candle.
That's that liquid campfire. Just,
We are
Yeah.
moving on to the Dark Cove. This is another committee bottling.
Dark Cove was 3 or 4 years ago, I believe. And this is at, what's the octane on this?
85.
55%. Moving on up. Take this whiskey and hide it well, for its heart has been matured in dark sherry casks.
Again.
Importing waves of treacle toffee, coal tar, squid ink noodles,
Ooh.
and toasted coffee grounds. The darkest Ardbeg ever. That's
So
right.
I would say with that, probably it's either an Oloroso sherry cask or a Pedro Jimenez being used for that. Those
You
are
see a
really
lot of
dark.
those Pedro
dark
Jimenez
sherries.
Cask finishes. All right, what else do we got on here?
And what is sherry? It's a fortified wine from Spain.
Hints of pepper spice and zesty lime lure you in. Smoldering charcoal and wood polish.
Smoldering.
Wood polish.
Smoldering.
Mm.
Wood
Flit
polish.
across the palate,
Flit.
with raisins, darts, and ginger emerging from shadows of terry creosote. Echoes of cured smoked ham and squid ink noodles signal the arrival of a long, spicy aftertaste.
Ooh.
Giddy
Yeah,
up.
that's hot.
And if you're wondering if you ever see those in a health food store, natural food store, in the frozen noodles, they're black.
Have you had them?
Yeah,
And?
no, they're great.
Yeah, that butter, that peanut butter.
Oh, peanut
buttery,
brittle, chunky peanut
yeah,
butter.
Peanut brittle.
What did they say? They said teriyaki. We got soy. So that's in the realm.
Asian sauce,
Yeah.
yeah, sure. Grapefruit rind, I think that
Ooh,
was
yep.
interesting. It's kind of out there on the edges.
Mm.
Sauteed green beans, and I think the butter is a part of that.
Yeah.
But the fresh green beans, throwing them on.
That kind of a raisin date thing happening. Dried fruit. But you should be getting that with the darker rum cask being used with that. You should always get some dried fruit and roasted done
Oh,
with that.
Brad added a bit of water. He likes it. Okay, that's something we talked about
Yeah.
before the.
Whoops.
Nice
Alcohol
catch.
abuse.
Nice
That
catch.
would have been alcohol abuse.
No, that was a nice catch.
So if
Yeah.
you want to, when it comes to adding a little bit of water, just use, if you can, a couple of drops in there. But if not,
Lid.
use your lid from your water bottle and put a little bit of water in there, and then just try putting in a few drops. You want to add a little bit of water to open it up, but if you put too much water in it, it just dilutes it.
Peanut brittle.
Yeah, I think the one of the cool things about this tasting when we pre-tasted the other day is we guessed we did the order by alcohol content, and we didn't switch anything up. Usually we'll switch them around a little bit and tweak it, but what I'm really enjoying with this is like where one will be herbal and kind of dry and slight, the next is big and buttery, and I really enjoy kind of the roller coaster ride of all the different nuances of all these big peaty scotches. I mean, you think that it's just gonna be a campfire in your mouth, but there's a lot of nuances going on here that very enjoyable.
So fun.
Oh, this is lovely. Oh,
Red hot.
red
It's
hot
red
with
hot,
that
Sarah.
charred pork fat in there.
Oh, yeah.
We kept coming up with Snapple flavors the other day. You
Yeah.
remember when we were
like
tasting
raspberry
this?
snapple or
Or
peach
peach.
snapple for sure.
Mm.
Uh,
All right, I'm going to take
cucumber
Cucumber.
and some peppered salami.
this one. Yes, peppered salami is all over this. Oh man,
Whoa.
big time. That's right on the money.
Snapple.
Yeah, that Snapple finish.
Yep.
It's kind of a tea finish. I'm gonna venture and put a little tiny bit of water in this. See what happens.
Ooh, me
I
too.
didn't think I'd do, but a little bit more than
A pipette.
a
And
pipette.
most of the distilleries would, especially if you do using or tasting cask strength, recommend putting a little bit of water in it. The thing about good whiskey is that in one glass of whiskey, you may have 3 completely different whiskeys. You have the whiskey as it is straight up right out of the bottle. Then you have the whiskey that you add a little bit of water to, and that can open it up, and all of a sudden you're getting all sorts of new aromas and new flavors. Then you can take a little ice cube, throw that in there, and that ice, the cold, anesthetizes your tongue, dulls your sense of taste, and it changes it all over again.
Oh man, I put a little
What'd you
water
think?
in here, and I get
Try
just
it.
big spearmint now.
Oh, really?
Wow.
Big spearmint. It's that sherry. Is there some sherry cask aging in this?
Oh,
ex
man.
bourbon. Well,
With some water, it's just totally different.
it really changes it up.
Well, the Dark Cove was
Wow.
it's bourbon, but it was also the ex sherry cask, right? The dark
Yes, and that sherry. And oh man,
This
one
is
sweet
good.
chocolate in there now.
sherry. Oh, butterscotch, big time.
Man, yeah, it
Oh, my.
really just really
Big,
transforms the
butterscotch.
whole profile here. Good call, Brad.
Thanks,
Yeah,
Brad.
yeah, with
Thanks,
with
Brad.
brown sugar in there.
Yes, brown sugar is right there.
Real good call.
And game on.
And game on.
Game on.
Oh.
Mm.
It even affects the finish.
What a
lot.
different whiskey.
I mean, I made her put
That's weird.
4 drops of water in
Yep.
there. This is
Wow.
the beauty of whiskey.
Amazing what just that little bit does.
Yeah, we talked about adding some water today, and we didn't think we were going to do it, but I'm glad we just did. That's great.
So good.
Great
Way to
call.
go, Brad.
Thanks,
All right.
Brad. High five.
High five. Virtual 5. Where can you get this? That's a good question. That's probably not really available.
Go online, see if you can find it. And remember, this is
And buy me one too. What do you do?
the
I'll get you
committee
back.
bottling also. Oh,
Wow, that was a pleasant surprise right there. That was an experience.
it's a peach raspberry Snapple finish
Yeah.
on there also.
Because it's that tea
And
element.
minty. And then the
Minty.
mint really comes
Yeah, the
out.
spearmint came
Yeah.
out on the nose and the finish. I don't know if it's spearmint. Like I said, one of these days I'm going to chew all the different gums.
You have to try the
So I know the
sweet mint.
difference between peppermint, spearmint, mint, wintergreen,
Winter green.
Okay,
We're going to do a gum tasting next week if you guys want to.
Tune in.
I won't be there.
Oh. There's going to be a lot of smacking on camera. That's about it.
Really.
Yeah. It's going to be really
We're gonna have the
boring.
bubble blowing contest.
It's gonna be really boring.
Really.
Just sitting there
I feel
hearing.
like I'm back in
Yeah.
ninth grade.
Well, it's minty. The finish is minty. All right, here we go. We are on to
Ah,
Nope, wrong one.
your face doesn't read at all.
Let's clean those glasses out again.
Yeah.
We're on to the Corey Brecken.
Corey Brecken. Now,
Corey Brecken.
what is the Corey Brecken? The Corey Brecken is like the world's second largest whirlpool, and it's north of the island of Ireland. And it's called the Corey Brecken. It supposedly has its own sea monster called Kelpie. Corey Brecken, when I first tasted it, when it came out, I was just amazed by it. But then again, we were lucky enough to have one committee bottling that a friend of ours here in Missoula had gotten, and it was magnificent. Now, the regular Corey Brecken is one of my favorite Ardbegs. Anyway, it's massive at 57.1%. But it's
That's what I just thought.
you can buy this as an everyday Ardbeg, and it is just incredible. But that committee bottling, oh my God, I don't know what I would pay to be able to get one more bottle of that. So if anybody out there knows where there is one, please let me know.
So Brad's saying the Dark Cove is $500 online. Is that for the regular or the committee bottling, Brad? I'm just curious.
Wow.
Okay, Ardbeg Corey Brecken.
When it first came out, it was probably around $100.
57.1% alcohol on this, which was that 114.2 proof.
Oh, God knows.
Yeah.
The Corey Brecken is a
So,
heady, intense, and powerful expression, swirling aromas and torrents of deep, peaty, peppery taste lurks beneath the surface of this beautifully balanced dram. Didn't tell me a lot right there.
I
You can see it right there.
I have friends that are diehard Ardbeg fans. That I will put out a spread like this of 8 different Ardbegs, 9 possibly, and they'll come back each time and say, you know what, Kevin, that Corey Brecken,
It
It's still my favorite.
It stands up.
Really?
Yeah, this is a bit at the bar. This is a scotch that I often recommend to people that I really want to make an impression on. If they have the money to spend, and I
What's it go for an ounce?
couldn't tell you offhand.
10, 12,
Maybe 14.
maybe
10 to
14.
$14.
Steve says juicy fruit.
Juicy
Well,
fruit.
it is right on that nose.
Oh, my
right on the
gosh.
nose.
Really
You look at off the
good.
top of the nose.
It's a very nostalgic.
That's salted caramel is a lot of what I'm getting.
Yeah. Salted caramel, but it's that juicy fruit into the salted caramel. Very astute, Steve. Good,
Yeah.
good on you.
And raisinette.
Raisinets.
Oh, but I love the salty sweetness of this in the nose. And I got the other day, like buttered mashed potatoes. When you're making it fresh and you're putting the butter on that, the heavy cream, the salt and pepper, a little roasted garlic, and you're mashing it all up, and that smell, that aroma is in this glass. I'm telling you. Beef jerky,
Ooh,
very savory.
yeah.
Malted
With-
milk ball.
Yes.
Oh man.
Oh, with seaweed in there
With
too, though.
seaweed,
That
for sure.
that maritime aspect is there.
One thing to try also when you're nosing the glass, all right, is start with one nostril and then roll it over to the other nostril. Normally, you have one nostril that is less stopped up than the other, and so you often will get more in one nose than you do in one nostril than you do in the other. So try that when you're smelling something.
I love having a university art professor joining us when he says he gives fine art references like look at the spiral jetty on the label.
What is that?
The spiral jetty is in
Who's that?
Salt Lake. It's land art. Robert Smithson. It's this.
Well, it's a
It's a
whirlpool.
man-made. Well, yeah, right.
Oh, but it's
It's
based
an art.
on what?
It's an art history reference to a famous piece of land art from the 70s.
Oh wow, very
Brad,
cool.
you are so
Very-
knowledgeable.
Yes, very cool.
Well, he
Well,
taught me.
and we do have.
Oh really? I
yes.
don't know who he is.
Jason, you do have your master's in art, don't you?
No, I just have a bachelor's.
Oh, okay.
School's out.
Sorry about that.
Once I pay off that first round, maybe another. Now, wow, so savory.
So with this one,
Oh,
that kind of light chipotle cayenne in this.
The chipotle, right?
yeah.
It's there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And that's such a
definitely
distinctive
smells
great.
taste that I hesitate to use it, but when it's there, it's there.
But it's kind of savory, so you're getting kind of a fire roasted tomato,
What are you
red
getting out of
pepper, marinara, oregano.
like-
There's a lot of Italian
Almost like a mole
in this one.
kind of a taste.
Like a
So-
mole.
Interesting.
That is
Mole.
right on the money.
Mole.
Very good.
I
Very
love
good.
that. Yes.
But man, that the dry finish kind of takes over once you get to the palate.
Super light.
You know, it's just, but it's so funny because when we tasted this the other day, it was big.
Yeah, barbecue chicken.
Not as big today.
No.
It doesn't seem as
No,
big right
it
now,
really
and I
doesn't.
don't know why that is.
I
It's
was
really,
going to say something to the same effect that it's not as big as it was the other day.
Mm-mm.
this
Who
is
knows?
this
Maybe it
is
was that gummy bear I ate before the tasting.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
This is a great standalone whiskey.
It really is.
If you're out camping, if it's the wintertime, which obviously we're not coming into anytime soon, but if it's the wintertime, this is a great one to sit and have by itself. Ardbeg, to me, also is any Ardbeg that I have
Ooh.
is a perfect cigar malt. I just love these. I love this with cigars. I don't smoke as many as I used to, but I still enjoy them, and I enjoy them with friends here in Missoula, and I just love Ardbeg with that.
Brad said hot peppers and salty garden veg. And we wrote fire roasted tomatoes.
Right,
Mm,
and
we
it's
did.
got kind of an
Salty.
Italian thing to it.
Yeah.
There was
Right.
somebody had mentioned basil to it. There's
Mhm.
oregano. So this is a great one to come back to and taste just by itself. Obviously, we've been tasting quite a few, and our palate and our nose starts to fade a little bit. But definitely come back to this one.
Yeah, but that hot tomato, you know, when
That's a hot tomato.
when you heat up a tomato and you grill it and it activates the acids on there, it changes the whole taste.
You said mole, and we wrote
Mole.
brown sugar.
Yeah.
So
Mm.
But the mole, that was spot
Yeah.
on. That was.
I'm still
That was
getting it.
nice.
Like,
Thank
even
you,
the finish,
Matt.
I'm still getting it.
So we had on the finish the other day, mellow, pleasant, salty, and long. Salty, definitely on the finish.
oh my god, yeah.
Is it mellow?
Now we do have
Because to me, it's a little It's not necessarily mellow.
Yeah.
It's like
so.
salty.
Yeah.
A little
We're
bitter.
going a little bit longer than we normally do, but we do have one more Ardbeg. Some of the kits that went out didn't have our mystery Ardbeg in there. So some did, and that's the one with the question mark. Now, we're not going to tell you what it is. It's a mystery. It is an Ardbeg. If you got a mat that came with it, it is the second whiskey on the mat. That's as much as I will give you. And if you don't have a mat, then what I could say with this is that when you come in to get
You're hiding.
what's that?
He's just hiding.
If we do, that's funny. If you do come in to get one of the rye kits that we'll be doing on Wednesday,
24th?
the 17th of June. Pardon me.
Giddy up.
This will certainly put a hitch in your giddy up. I'll let you know what it was.
Brad said, "You guys are awesome. Thank you so much for this."
Oh gosh, our pleasure.
Thank you, Brad, for interacting. We had a good
Yeah,
time, man.
thank
You spiced it
you.
up.
And for all of
Appreciate
you
it.
folks that have been participating in this with our kits and giggles.
He said we didn't get one of those, but
But
dot,
come
dot,
in.
dot, dot. He said we do have an entire bonus flight, round 2. Ding ding ding
Ding, 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 ding.
ding 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 ding.
There we go.
Good for you.
Stop in and I'll make sure that you get one.
I believe Brad and Elizabeth may or may not have made their Scotland trip yet, but they were supposed to go over there and see the Ardbeg distillery
Ah.
and the
Aw.
Lagavulin distillery.
Did
I'm
you
not sure
go?
We talked about it. Yeah, we'll see.
All right, so what are we gonna get out of the nose on this one?
Oh man.
So this one, obviously, this is the 9th one, so
Man.
our sense of smell and our sense of taste aren't going to be quite as sharp as they were before.
I smell cologne.
Cologne, oh, okay.
I almost smell beets.
Is there a little bit of like banana, gum, taffy?
A lot more fruit off this one.
Yeah.
than off
Yeah.
the last one.
Fruits or potato
Whoa, yeah.
or roots, roots, vegetables.
Yeah, kind of a creamy, custardy, fluffy kind of.
Yeah, this is fun. This is a fun way to kind of end this. Is like we're gonna smell this and taste it firsthand here, and I'm getting, gosh, snap peas, garden.
Something vegetal, herbal.
There is the Asian sauce element in there too. I feel like
That teriyaki thing.
Even more like an oyster sauce, huh?
Ooh.
nice.
I
like
am
that.
actually starving. He didn't go. He said maybe 20.
Oh, that's right. I'm sorry to rain on your parade.
Need
They
to
were
bring it
gonna
up.
go. I'm getting a grilled pineapple on this too.
Oh yeah, gosh, I'm,
Like a pineapple ring, and maybe just the pineapple rings that come out. in
Of the
there.
jar?
Yeah. You got that?
Yeah, yeah.
All right. Oh wow, there's a lot going on here. Seaweed.
hmm Boy, at the first taste on that, dry. But that uncooked smoked pork, gritty.
Ew, ooh, yeah.
But then it just kind of.
And then it
It
kind of fades
dissipates
away.
pretty quick, but there's something else in there. There's
Interesting.
a light fruit, a light sweetness in there.
What is the sweetness? Pineapple.
It's a
and what
mystery.
else? Ooh.
Kind of like a bitter cherry.
Almost like a marzipan off of it. Almost like it's
Marzipan,
yeah.
also great. But it's got some kind of a cooked, bitter cherry kind of in there.
Bitter cherry. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Not a maraschino. Bourbon soaked cherries. No. There's a lot going on there. We can dissect this for 20 minutes. But as it is, we're coming up on 70 minutes. I think we're pretty good here.
I think so, too.
Come down to the Rhino.
And
Woo.
please
We
come
talk
down
more.
to the Rhino. We
Yeah.
got 5 or 6 Ardbegs behind the bar right now.
God, that burns me.
So if you get a chance, come on down and try some of them. We have some other great peaty scotches and not so peaty scotches.
Overall, I think I counted. We have 56 fine or single malt scotches down at the Rhino right now. 56.
Wow.
And we also have a pretty incredible bourbon lineup also.
And we run some pretty consistent specials for $6, where we run like a Scotch or a nice Irish whiskey, or the Uncle Nearest that we're doing right now for $6, which is a delicious Tennessee whiskey.
Really good.
Yeah, I mean, we're always doing something. We're moving a lot of whiskey. We have a lot of tastings, so we have a lot to offer the public for a reasonable price. Or if you want to spend some money, you can
Ball
do
out.
that too.
And we do have our own bottle of whiskey from Glacier Distilling called Good Med. This is the 6th or 7th year that we've done it, and it's phenomenal. Every year we only get about 60 bottles, and then we get some minis along with that, but only about 60 bottles. And that's about all that there is in the world. There may be a few bottles up at the distillery, and the regular Good Med that they make up there, they water down to 40%. So we get it at cask strength. Big marmalade and brown sugar.
Really
with
good.
that.
But it's distilled down from a beer.
It is from Good Medicine Red Ale from Great Northern Brewing out of Whitefish, which closed last
R.I.P.
year. But there is a new brewery going in, and luckily Nick Lee from Glacier Distilling has quite a few casks of this aging in his warehouse up in Coram, Montana. And he's making some of the best whiskey out there. In the rye tasting, we'll have his Bad Rock Rye in there. And he's just an incredible distiller.
So it's
And-
so it's bottled and labeled to be. I mean, we sell it through the Rhino exclusively.
Yeah, that one.
It's
It's got our logo on it.
So it's $75 for a 750 milliliter, and then we sell the little 50 milliliter for $8.
Yep.
And get it while you can, because last year it went quickly, and it's a delicious, unique whiskey for sure.
And it's one of those ones that also it's a sipping whiskey.
It's good.
When I was a kid, and learning that, hey, granted that was a while ago, but when I was a kid, when you drank whiskey, if you were a real man, you shot it. Whoa! You threw it back because that's what real men did. But as I got
Real
older, I learned to savor and appreciate whiskey instead of trying to get the thing past my taste buds as fast as possible. So the thing with the Good Med is the Good Med you really want to spend some time with and taste it. And with that, it's at 57.1%. So you want to, just like the Corey Brecken, right? You want to take tiny sips, savor it. It's a perfect fall and winter whiskey to try. It's not a bourbon. It's not a rye. It's made from beer, so mostly it is barley, and single malts are made from barley, like Ardbeg. Malt means barley. So, folks, thank you so much for being with us again.
Happy Ardbeg Day, everybody!
To all the Ardbeg
All right.
fans out there.
Pete and love.
Okay.
See you next time.
Thanks, guys.
Very good. Good job, guys.